Let me paint a picture. You, with your tactical prowess, came out of the opening a pawn up. Your masterful knowledge of the middle game allowed you to safely trade down into the penultimate position. This one move will decide the result of the game. This one move will decide the result of the tournament. This one move will decide the result of the last 4 hours of your life. What do you do? Hey guys, Max here and welcome to another endgame analysis video. Today we're going to be looking at some examples of king and one pawn endgames. These are vital even in over-the-board classical tournaments when the right move can be dastardly to find. So after watching the introductory video on king and pawn endgames, which I recommend watching right now if you don't have a basic knowledge of critical squares, the rule of the square, zugzwang, or opposition, we know that for white to win, all they have to do is take control of one of the critical squares. In this case, the critical squares of this b4 pawn are a6, b6, and c6. Now, our hero in the aforementioned story is looking at this position and it seems hopeless. How on earth could his king reach these squares before the enemy king does, denying him access and eventually drawing the game? He's analyzing lines such as king to c2, king to e7, king to c3, king to d6, king to c4, and then king to c6, and it's very, very obvious that there's no way he can get there in time. Or is it? Because instead of focusing on these two squares, what we have to do in this position is think a little bit outside of the box. We know that for white to win, all they have to do is take control of at least one of the 3 critical squares in front of the pawn. And if you haven't got it already, the answer to this little riddle is that all they need to do is take control of this a6 square in this instance. We're fine with black taking control of either or both of these squares. We can even give up those squares because all we need is control of this one square on a6. So, after the correct king to c2, king to e7, king to b3, king to d6, king to a4, king to c6, black is habiting c6 and controlling b6. It seems they are unstoppable. However, after king to a5, and all of a sudden it dawns on us that this is very clearly winning for white. After black backs off, king to b7, king to b5, white takes the direct opposition, forcing black to move away, and now they can control one of the critical squares on c6. This game is trivial to win. If you don't know how, I recommend re-watching that original video on the basics of these positions. There's a link to it in the top right hand corner of the screen. But king to b8, king to b6, king to a8, king to c7, king to a7, b5, king to a8, king to b6, king to b8, king to a6, king to a8, b6, king to b8, and b7, and black must give up the squares in front of the pawn. King to c7, king to a7, white inhabits the critical squares of this far advanced pawn on the 7th rank, and then no matter what black does, white will queen next turn and go on to win the game with the basic queen and king checkmate. Obviously, if you don't know how to checkmate with the king and queen, the game is still drawn. It's quite a simple procedure. Go check out that video linked in the top right once again if you need help on how. Alright guys, thank you very, very much for watching all the way to the end. If you enjoyed, please consider liking and subscribing, and also please comment down below anything I could do to make these videos more entertaining and engaging for you. I really want to do the best I can for you guys. So thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.